Bitter melon, also called bitter gourd, is one of the most unusual vegetables in the world. Its sharp, bitter taste makes many people avoid it. Yet for centuries it has been valued in traditional medicine across Asia, Africa, and South America. When you cut open a bitter melon, you will see a pale green flesh with white inner lining and seeds that look very different from common vegetables. Despite its bitterness, researchers have been paying closer attention to this food because of the bioactive compounds inside it. Scientists have found that bitter melon contains charantin, polypeptide P, and vaccine, which may help regulate blood sugar. This is why many people with type 2 diabetes wonder if bitter melon could be a natural ally. But the real question is, can eating this vegetable actually make a difference in controlling diabetes? At the same time, laboratory studies suggest that extracts of bitter melon might slow the growth of certain cancer cells. Some early research shows it can trigger apoptosis, which means programmed cell death in cancer cells, and may reduce tumor growth in animals. But how reliable are these findings? And what do they mean for everyday people who simply want to protect their health? In this video, we will break down what science really says about bitter melon and its possible role in diabetes and cancer. You will learn how it works, what benefits are supported by research, and what risks or side effects you need to be aware of. Stay with us until the end, because bitter melon may be more than just a bitter food. It might be one of the hidden treasures for your long-term health, but only if you understand how to use it wisely. And if you want more science-based health tips like this, remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next one. Basic nutritional value of bitter melon. Bitter melon is more than just a vegetable with a sharp taste. It is a natural package of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that can make a real difference for overall health. 1 cup of bitter melon, which is about 90 to 100 grams, provides a very low number of calories but a surprisingly high level of nutrients. It is rich in vitamin C, an essential nutrient that supports the immune system, helps heal wounds, and protects cells from free radical damage. Vitamin C in bitter melon is comparable to the amount you would find in citrus fruits like oranges. Bitter melon also supplies vitamin A, which is important for eye health and skin protection. Compared to carrots, bitter melon has less vitamin A, but still offers a meaningful boost when included in a varied diet. This vegetable is also a source of important minerals. It contains potassium, which helps regulate blood pressure and supports healthy heart function. It has magnesium, which is involved in hundreds of enzyme reactions, including those that control blood sugar and muscle activity. Bitter melon also provides a modest amount of iron, which helps carry oxygen in the blood and prevents fatigue. Another advantage of bitter melon is its fiber content. Dietary fiber improves digestion, helps maintain a healthy weight, and may lower cholesterol levels. Even though bitter melon is light and low in calories, it keeps you feeling full, which is useful for people who want to control their weight. Bitter melon also contains unique antioxidants, such as flavonoids and phenolic compounds. These natural substances fight oxidative stress in the body, which is a factor linked to aging, diabetes, and cancer. Although many vegetables like broccoli and spinach are rich in antioxidants, bitter melon stands out because it combines these with special compounds like charantin and polypeptide P that are not found in most common vegetables. In short, bitter melon is a nutrient-dense food. It may not look appealing at first because of its rough skin and bitter flavor, but inside it carries a valuable mix of vitamins, minerals, fiber, and antioxidants. When compared to other vegetables, it may not be the richest in one single nutrient, but it provides a unique overall profile that makes it worth adding to your diet. Bitter melon and diabetes. Active compounds and mechanism. When it comes to diabetes, bitter melon is especially interesting because of its unique natural compounds. Researchers have identified 3 main substances that play a role: charantin, polypeptide P, and vaccine. Each of these compounds works in a slightly different way, but together they may mimic some of the effects of insulin in the body. Charantin is a mixture of plant steroids that has been shown in studies to lower blood glucose levels. It seems to improve the way cells take up glucose from the bloodstream, making it easier for the body to use sugar as energy. Polypeptide P is often referred to as a plant insulin. It is a protein that acts in a similar way to human insulin by helping lower blood sugar when injected or consumed in concentrated form. While it is not identical to human insulin, early research suggests it may have a mild but helpful effect on glucose control. Vicine is another compound in bitter melon that may support blood sugar regulation. Some studies show that vicine, along with other antioxidants in bitter melon, can reduce oxidative stress and protect pancreatic beta cells. These are the cells in the pancreas responsible for producing insulin, so protecting them is important for long-term blood sugar balance. Together, charantin, polypeptide P, and vicine create a unique synergy. They may help cells absorb more glucose, reduce sugar spikes after meals, and protect the pancreas. This triple action makes bitter melon stand out compared to most vegetables, which do not contain compounds that act like insulin. Of course, it is important to be realistic. Bitter melon is not a replacement for medical treatment or insulin therapy prescribed by doctors. The research is promising, but the effects are usually mild compared to medications. Still, for people who want to support their health naturally, adding bitter melon to the diet can be one helpful step. In summary, bitter melon is more than a bitter vegetable. Its special compounds may help regulate blood sugar by acting like natural insulin and protecting the pancreas. This is why it has gained attention among researchers and people with diabetes who are looking for supportive dietary choices. Bitter melon and diabetes, research evidence. Scientific interest in bitter melon and diabetes is not just based on tradition. Over the last few decades, several small clinical studies have tested its effects in people with type 2 diabetes. One randomized controlled trial included around 100 patients with type 2 diabetes. Those who took bitter melon extract for 3 months showed a modest reduction in fasting blood sugar compared to the control group. The effect was not as strong as standard oral diabetes medications, but the trend suggested a supportive benefit. Another study with about 40 patients compared bitter melon capsules to metformin, a common diabetes drug. The results showed that while metformin produced a much larger drop in blood sugar, bitter melon still led to some improvement, especially in post-meal glucose spikes. This means it may help smooth out fluctuations after eating, even if it is not powerful enough to fully control blood sugar by itself. Other small studies and community trials have reported similar findings. Patients who added bitter melon juice or extract to their daily routine sometimes experienced lower fasting glucose and better tolerance to sugar challenges. Some even reported feeling more energetic and less fatigued. However, there are important limitations. Most studies are small, often less than 100 participants, and they are usually short-term, lasting only a few weeks or months. The doses of bitter melon also vary widely, from fresh juice to concentrated extracts, making it hard to know the best form or amount. Compared to medications prescribed by doctors, bitter melon is clearly less effective. Drugs like metformin or insulin have a much stronger and more reliable impact on blood sugar control. Still, bitter melon may be useful as a dietary support, especially for those who want natural options alongside standard care. In summary, the research evidence suggests that bitter melon can lower blood sugar modestly in people with type 2 diabetes. It cannot replace medication, but it may provide extra support when used as part of a balanced diet and under medical guidance. This is why scientists continue to study it, and why many patients see it as a helpful addition rather than a cure. Bitter melon and cancer, basic research. When it comes to cancer, most of the research on bitter melon is still in the laboratory stage. That means scientists are studying its effects on cancer cells in test tubes and in animal experiments, not yet in large human trials. One of the most consistent findings is that bitter melon extracts can slow down the growth of certain cancer cells. In laboratory studies, researchers observed that bitter melon caused apoptosis, which means programmed cell death, in cancer cells. This is the natural process the body uses to remove abnormal cells, and bitter melon seems to encourage this pathway. Another mechanism is its ability to block angiogenesis, the process by which tumors grow new blood vessels to feed themselves. In animal models, bitter melon extracts reduced the formation of these new blood vessels, effectively starving tumors of the nutrients they need to expand. This anti-angiogenic property makes bitter melon especially interesting to researchers looking for natural compounds that interfere with tumor growth. Examples of this have been seen in breast cancer research. In laboratory tests, bitter melon extract reduced the growth of breast cancer cells and promoted their destruction. In studies of pancreatic cancer in animals, bitter melon extract slowed tumor progression and improved survival in some cases. These results are encouraging, although they are still early findings. It is important to emphasize that all of this evidence comes from preclinical studies. What works in a petri dish or in mice does not always translate directly to humans. Human biology is more complex, and cancer treatment requires strong and targeted therapies. Still, the fact that bitter melon shows consistent activity against cancer cells in different models makes it a candidate for further research. For everyday people, these studies suggest a potential benefit, but should not be seen as proof that bitter melon can cure cancer. Instead, it shows promise as a natural food that may support the body. While more research is needed to know how it could fit into cancer prevention or treatment in the future. In summary, bitter melon has demonstrated the ability to trigger cancer cell death and limit tumor blood supply in laboratory and animal studies. These discoveries make it an exciting area of research, but they also remind us to be cautious. Until clinical trials in humans are completed, bitter melon should be viewed as supportive, not as a replacement for proven medical therapies. Bitter melon and cancer limitations and precautions. Although the laboratory results on bitter melon and cancer are exciting, it is very important to keep perspective. Up to now, the research is almost entirely preclinical, meaning it has been done in test tubes or in animals. There is no strong clinical trial in humans proving that bitter melon can treat or cure cancer. This is a critical point. Many natural compounds show powerful effects in the laboratory but fail to produce the same results in people. Human biology is far more complex, and cancer treatment usually requires targeted therapies, surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, or newer immunotherapy approaches. Bitter melon has not been proven to replace any of these treatments. For patients facing cancer, stopping medical care and relying only on bitter melon would be dangerous. At best, bitter melon may serve as a supportive food, offering antioxidants and bioactive compounds that could help the body stay stronger. But it should never be used as the sole method of treatment. Another limitation is dosage. Studies use different forms, such as juice, powder, or concentrated extract, and in different amounts. We do not yet know the safe and effective dose for humans when it comes to cancer. Consuming very large amounts of bitter melon might even cause side effects like stomach upset or low blood sugar, especially in people with diabetes. It is also worth noting that research so far has focused mainly on specific cancer cell lines, such as breast cancer or pancreatic cancer. These studies are useful but cannot predict how bitter melon would affect all types of cancer or how it would behave in the human body. The safest way to think about bitter melon today is as part of a healthy diet, not as a medical treatment. Eating it as a vegetable can provide nutrients and antioxidants. Using it under the guidance of a doctor, especially for people with chronic diseases, may offer supportive benefits. In summary, bitter melon shows promising anti-cancer activity in the lab, but the evidence in humans is still missing. It should not replace proven cancer therapies. Instead, it should be viewed as a supportive option in nutrition, while science continues to investigate its true role in cancer prevention or treatment. Risks and side effects of bitter melon. While bitter melon has potential benefits, it is important to recognize that too much of it can cause problems. Like any natural remedy, it is not completely safe in all situations. One of the most common risks is hypoglycemia, or blood sugar dropping too low. Bitter melon has compounds that act like insulin, so when people already use diabetes medications, adding large amounts of bitter melon can push sugar levels down too far. Symptoms may include dizziness, sweating, blurred vision, and in severe cases, fainting. Another group that needs to be very cautious is pregnant women. Bitter melon seeds and extracts have been linked in some reports to uterine contractions and even miscarriage in animal studies. Because of this, it is strongly recommended that pregnant women avoid bitter melon in concentrated forms, such as juice or supplements. Digestive issues are also possible. Eating too much bitter melon may lead to stomach cramps, diarrhea, or abdominal discomfort. For most people, moderate amounts as part of meals are safe, but concentrated extracts or excessive portions can upset the digestive system. There is also a special risk for people who have a condition called G6PD deficiency, which is a genetic lack of the enzyme glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase. In these individuals, certain compounds in bitter melon seeds may trigger a breakdown of red blood cells, leading to anemia. Although this condition is not common, it highlights why bitter melon should be used with awareness. The good news is that safe use is possible. Most studies suggest that small to moderate amounts of bitter melon as part of regular meals are well tolerated. Drinking a small glass of juice, adding a few slices into stir-fry, or using it in soup is generally safe for most adults. Problems usually occur when people consume very large amounts or rely on concentrated supplements without medical guidance. In summary, bitter melon can be helpful, but it must be used wisely. Too much can cause low blood sugar, digestive distress, or other complications, and certain groups, like pregnant women and people with G6PD deficiency, should avoid it. The safest way is to enjoy bitter melon as a food in moderation, and always consult a doctor if you have a medical condition. We have explored bitter melon from many angles. It is a vegetable that offers vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and compounds that may help with blood sugar balance. Laboratory studies even suggest possible effects against cancer cells. But we also saw the risks, including low blood sugar, digestive upset, and warnings for pregnancy or certain genetic conditions. The key message is simple. Bitter melon should be viewed as a supportive food, not as a medical treatment. It cannot replace medications for diabetes or proven therapies for cancer. Instead, it can be part of a balanced lifestyle, where food works alongside medical care to support overall health. If you want to try bitter melon, start small. Add a few slices into stir-fry or soup. If you make juice, keep the portion small. Pay attention to how your body responds, especially if you already take diabetes medications. And if you are pregnant or have a medical condition, talk with your doctor before adding bitter melon to your diet. Used wisely, bitter melon can be an ally for better health, but like any tool, it must be used carefully and with guidance. Science is still learning more, and in the future, we may have clearer answers about its role in long-term disease prevention. If you found this video helpful, remember to subscribe to the channel for more evidence-based health content. Share this video with friends or family who may benefit. And do not forget to check out the next video, where we will explore another powerful food for your health.